Okay, my friends, let's begin. So, welcome to Online Jewish Yoga Studio. I'm Cantor Shamash. If you're here for the first time, a very special welcome to you. So glad you found us. If you're with us as a regular, I want to acknowledge that it feels like maybe a month has passed since last week. It's certainly been a challenging, unimaginable week. And I think that my job is to help us to be safe and sound in our bodies, in this bite, in this home. So I hope and trust and pray that you're generally safe and sound within your own homes. Let's work to keep ourselves whole and healthy in the body and in the breath. So come and take a comfortable seat. We'll do a little bit of warm-up, followed by a very brief teaching and then some work. And I want to give a little heads up that today's practice is not so much yoga asana postures per se. It's a little more of a quieter movement awareness practice. And so if you were hoping to really move your body today, I'll encourage you to, either to give this a try, or if you're very spilkedick or need to move, just do your thing. You do you, and that will be just fine and just perfect for today. But I wanted you to know what's coming. So find a comfortable seat. It could be on the floor. It could be on a chair. However feels best for you in your own hips, knees, spine. And the important thing is root those sitting bones. Lift up through the spine, particularly through the low back. And the lower spine, the sacrum curve hugs to the front body, right? So hug the lower back to the navel. And draw the navel back to support the low back, and draw the low back in to support the core. Rise up from that place. You might allow the eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. Excuse me. Just coming to land right here. This moment, this morning. Allowing the breath to settle. Noticing it's rising and falling. There's nothing you need to do. It will find its way. Simply bringing the mind, the awareness, the attention to the breath coming and going, filling this body. And take the shoulders into a couple of rolls up and back. Draw the elbows toward each other, the shoulder blades toward each other, and down. A couple of rolls of the shoulder girdle. And then with the eyes open or closed, inhale, take the right arm up overhead, and exhale, take a side bend over to the left. Lengthening through the fingertips, grounding down through the sitting bone. Pause here. Breathe into the torso. And inhale to come up. Windmill the arms, switch sides. Exhale, taking a side bend to the right. And then moving it a little bit with the breath. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, side. Inhale, up. Exhale, side bending. And again, inhale up. exhale. Inhale. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, both arms up. Look up, lift up, gaze up, open the side body, both sides. And then as you exhale, slowly take the arms down, keeping them in your peripheral vision as you come down. Feeling like a wine corkscrew as the arms go down, the center lifts up. Take the hands to the knees loosely. We're going to take a little bit of cat and cow, a little bit of arch and curl. I like to start this motion with the exhale. So as you exhale, draw the navel to the spine. Curl, draw the mid-back back, the head goes forward, the pelvis rolls to the back of the sitting bones. And then as you inhale, start to roll the pelvis forward, lift through the spine, coming up, 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 chest up, shoulders back. Maybe you take the gaze up too. And exhale and curl it. And you can use your hands to your knees for a little bit of leverage, a little bit of support. Take this in your own time. We each have a different flow of the breath. In your own time, investigating inhale and exhale. And then settling back into center. So our parsha this week is Vaera. And I want to kind of excerpt my teaching from just a couple of phrases. In this Torah portion, we start to really roll here. We have 7 of the 10 plagues in this portion. So at the beginning, God reveals God's self and says to Moses, look, tell the people, I'm going to take them out. I'm going to end their hardship. I'm going to end their slavery, and I will redeem them. And Moses goes to tell the people, and the phrase that is used here is kotzer ruach. Literally, shortness of breath, shortness of spirit. You could say trauma, constriction. But when Moses told this to the Israelites, they would not listen to Moses. Their spirits crushed by cruel bondage. So they were unable to hear from crushed spirits. And when I think of crushed spirits, I think of this kind of a movement. So this idea of shortening of spirit when we're under duress. And the second phrase I want to kind of investigate today, which I counted 7 times in this Torah portion, either God hardening Pharaoh's heart or Pharaoh being stubborn and Pharaoh's hardening of his own heart. There are 3 different verbs used. Va'ani akshe et lev paro, I will make Pharaoh's heart kashe, difficult. Vayechezak lev paro, from chazak, strong. Pharaoh's heart was stiffened, the English says. And the third, kaved lev paro. It says in the translation, Pharaoh is stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. Kaved means heavy, a heaviness of the heart. So we have the words kashe, chazak, kaved, this difficulty of expansion in the heart, right? And when the heart tenses up and becomes stubborn, we can't hear, we can't understand. We're not in a right relationship with reality, so to speak. So I want to today, from these phrases, kotzer ruach, and these variations of hardening the heart, kind of investigate the shoulder girdle, which encases the heart, right? So I think of the heart space is like from the breastbone to the place between the shoulder blades. That's the front to back of it, right? And then this whole kind of expansion of the rib cage. And the shoulder girdle means the collarbones, the upper arm bones, really, because as we do a lot of computer work, they roll forward and they inhibit the lungs, right? The shoulder blades, which hold up the back of the heart. So we're going to do an awareness practice to see kind of how we feel in this area and how we're doing. I've been thinking about it a lot over the last several days. And in fact, we know this, science tells us, we have actually a fair amount of conscious control over our breathing. And when breathing becomes restricted from patterns of physical patterns, psycho-emotional patterns, when it becomes constricted, it actually threatens our life. It threatens our longevity. It threatens our circulation. It threatens our respiratory system. When you think of hardening of the heart and calcification of arteries and any kind of cardiac stress, this is all actually life and death stuff. And so little by little in our yoga practice, we can start to open. So let's come on the back. Oh, if you came on a little late, I was asking for a blanket and a block. So let's roll the blanket. We're not going to use it right away, but I want to prepare it. So you're going to take it on the long edge, smooth it out, and then roll it. Make a nice tight jelly roll. Nice tight jelly roll. So it looks something like that. And you can just put it over to the side for this moment. And come to lie on the back, your back. The knees are bent and the soles of the feet are on the floor. And if this feels crunched for the front of your throat, then put something under the back of your head. You could roll the mat forward a little bit or take a little pillow under the head. You should be comfortable. So this is a beautiful position. It's really always a nice place to start or end the day. It's known as constructive rest. Just begin to feel the orientation of the body as we're supported by the floor. Allow the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor to become even heavier with each exhale. Let the feet be heavy. Let the hips, the back of the hips, be heavy. See if you can just drop in, drop down. Let the backs of the shoulders be heavy. Notice if even in this laying down position, you're trying to hold your shoulders up. See if you can just let them go. And then the back of the head, out to be heavy. So you can keep the eyes open or closed here, but I more strongly recommend to keep them open to kind of help the awareness be alert and not encourage us to fall asleep. We're still, but there's a real active quality to this stillness, this noticing. Extend the arms up towards the ceiling now. Take the palms to face each other. Inhale and lengthen the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Let the arm bones come up, let the shoulders come off the floor, and then as you exhale, drop the shoulders down in one movement, one quick movement. So inhale, extend up, feel the shoulder blades separate, pause at the top of that in-breath, and then exhale, just let the shoulders drop down. And a third time, inhaling, fingertips extend, up, up, up. Let them drop. Cross the elbows, either arm on top, cross the elbows across the chest. Give yourself a hug. If it's uncomfortable to take the arms into a hug, you could just hold opposite elbows up a little bit above your chest. And if you're coming to this hug, roll a little bit from side to side and work with the fingertips to peel the shoulder blades apart, away from the spine a little bit. And then just drop. Begin to put your mind's attention on the space between the shoulder blades. See if it's possible to detect the breath coming and going in this place. You might find that on the inhale, the shoulder blades glide apart. As the exhale, they draw back toward each other. And then open the arms and switch the opposite elbow or the opposite forearm on top. And once again, wriggle a little bit side to side. Just notice. Does it feel different with the other arm on top? How is this? And bring your mind's eye once again to the space between the shoulder blades. See if you can detect movement of breath in that place. And if that's too subtle and it becomes frustrating for you, just focus on the rise and fall of the belly. Feeling this breath coming and going. And then release the arms. Take them back to the sides. And once again, and you might rest the palms on the fronts of the hip bones. Have a sense that you can breathe up the length of the spine, up the length of the front body. And you can exhale down the length of the spine, also the front body, the whole torso. Simultaneously, you might feel a sense of the width of this torso. Maybe the shoulder blade's a little bit wider than when you began. See what you notice. And then roll over to the side. Take hold of this jelly roll and place it in the center of your mat in the long way. So we're going to sit on top of the blanket. Tailbone is on the blanket, and we lay the spine down over the blanket. As I said, so the blanket supports you all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Once again, knees are bent, soles of the feet on the floor. You can take them as wide as you need to make sure you feel stable. And allow the spine to drop into the blanket. Now here, take the arms out in a T. Let the shoulder blades drop to either side of the support. Let them drop away from the spine. Feel the outer shoulders moving down. Feel the shoulder blades moving down. You might even make a little sound on the exhale, dropping the jaw, whispering, ha, or vocalizing even. There's no one around. This is the benefit of not having class in a public space together. You're in your own private space. You can make whatever sounds, whatever emanations you need to help release breath, release muscle tension. You won't bother anyone in so doing. So arms out wide to the side in this T with the palms facing up, right? We're going to inhale and lengthen the fingertips away from the center line. Lengthen them away from the body. See what you notice. And then as you exhale, let the elbows bend slightly, just drawing drawing the arms back in. It's a very, very subtle little motion. As we inhale, we lengthen, we energize that whole line of the arm from the breastbone out to the fingertips. And as we exhale, not so much a moving in, just a relaxing, softening. And again, inhale, straighten the arms, spread the fingertips, lengthen out. Feel the width of your very self. Exhale, just let it drop. One more time. Inhale, lengthen out through the fingertips. Notice if you're putting tension into your body anywhere that's unnecessary. We're just working through the arms. And then exhale, soften. Beautiful. Bend the elbows. Take the fingertips to the breastbone, right to the center of the chest, the center of the heart. Give a little tap. This one's really nice to make some sound. Going up and down the length of the breastbone. Just a very light tapping with those fingertips. You can also take the tapping right under the collarbones. Go from the inside of the collarbone and tap out. One on the right, one on the left, to the outer shoulder, and then come back in, just right under the collarbone. And again, up and down the breastbone a little bit. And pause. Release. Take the arms away. Again, you can bend the elbows and place the hands, palms facing down on the hip points. And notice. Do you feel any sensation, anything new, anything different in the chest particularly? Vibration, pulsation. Maybe you feel your own heart beating. And letting the breath be through the nose, inhaling and exhale. See if you can begin to lengthen each phase. Just a little, nothing big. Just the way you would smooth out a wrinkle on your bed, on the cover. See if you can smooth out the wrinkles of the breathing pattern. And then take hold of the block if you have it. We're going to hold the block on either end and press the palms into the block. Right? So the block is on the wide part, holding between the palms. If you have no block, it's no problem. You can just take the palms up roughly shoulder height. And we're kind of working with an isometric action, so you can just see to what extent you can make that happen. So pressing the hands into the block. Once again, that same action of inhale, send the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, retract the shoulder blades, draw them back down. And you have a little more motion with the chest on the blanket, right? Inhaling, lengthening through the fingertips. Exhaling, dropping the shoulder blades back down. Inhaling, lengthen, move away, lift the arms. Feel the arm bones going up and gliding back on the exhale. Taking this a few times in your own breath. Just an inquiry. And if the mind begins to wander, your to-do list for the day, your action plan for the week, just say thank you. Thank you so much. We'll get to that later, but we're doing something else now. Return the mind to this awareness, this effort, this effortless effort. Right? So cultivating effortless effort. Back and forth. Gliding those arms, those shoulder blades. And then pause. Okay, so here you are in center. Now we're going to take the block back and up overhead behind us. So it looks like this. On the inhale, again, we're squeezing the block slightly. On the inhale, we move the block back and up overhead. It could be just a couple inches or it could be far. And as we exhale, we come back to center. Now, if you find a place where it's painful in your shoulders, you stop. You stop. You don't go further. You don't go past that edge. You just come back. Right? And another option is if the block is too narrow to bring the arms overhead and you want to investigate going further, you take the arms out in a wider V and you inhale them back where it's comfortable and exhale up. So don't be fooled. It's kind of a quote, simple action, but it's subtle. And there are a lot of pieces here happening, right? So we want to anchor actually this action from the core. You might notice that as you start to move the block overhead on your inhale, the front ribs pop up. You want to anchor them down. You might notice the jaw becoming involved, or the throat, or the neck. See if you can leave be. So you can see if you can keep the neck nice and swan-like and really root this action. Let it start from the base of the shoulder blades. Basically, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, even lower, are where the trapezius muscles attach, right? And the lats, the latissimus dorsi on the side, also, they're attaching low and supporting this movement. We want this movement to come from not really the shoulders, it's from a much deeper place, onto the back, onto the rib cage. One last time, inhaling up, and exhaling, coming back to center. Good, and then release. Put the block aside. You can shake out the arms a little bit. And one more time, take the arms out to the sides. Let the tops of the shoulders drop. Let the shoulder blades drop down. Notice how you're doing in the back of the neck, at the base of the skull there, the occipital ridge. Just give the head a little bit of a yes movement, up and down. Very, very small movement, yes. Small movement, no. You could even make little circles with your nose. And one more time, if you like, inhaling and extending those fingertips away from center. Open up the wrists and the elbows and the shoulder joints through this action. As you exhale, let it go. Bend the elbows, take the hands to the base of the skull and to your neck, and give yourself a little self-massage. Exactly at the amount of pressure that you would love, right? Be your own best massage therapist. You can go into the muscles at the sides of the neck. You can go to the base of the skull. Follow the finger pads along the base of the skull from the ears back to the center. And when you get to those two soft places right at the base of the skull, take a couple finger pads deeply in there. You can really kind of hold that notch and pull your head away from your neck. Like let the weight of the skull drop into your hands. Let it be heavy. Let the jaw go. And pull the head away. Lengthen that neck and then lay the head back down. Move the arms away and just one last time savor this place. Notice how you feel. Notice any feelings arising in the heart. See what's there. And then as you're ready, gently roll off to the side. Put the blanket off to the side. And come back one more time onto the back here. Just reorganizing the spine. Again, the relationship of torso to floor once we've taken away that blanket. Bring the right knee to your chest. Give it a hug. You can take this as just a very gentle drawing in, or if you like, you can extend the left leg long on the floor, make it a more intensive stretch, getting a little more juice in the top of the left thigh and the hip flexor. Just take it however you need it, at your own pace. There's never such a thing as too gentle with yourself or too compassionate. Release the right foot down. Take the left knee, hug it in towards the chest. And again, if you like, you can take the right leg long. And then as you're ready, hug both knees in towards the chest. Take them wide. Take the knees wide and roll it a little bit side to side, like a baby. And just feeling, again, a little bit of a massage as we go side to side, across the low back. And then come on back to center. Okay, this next thing that we're going to do, I want to model for you so that you can see what I'm doing, and then we'll do it together. I'm going to show you how I like to use these props. You may come with something different. You may not need any props at all. It's going to look like this. We lie on the side in fetal position, so just watch this first time through. I'll show you what we're doing. I like to prop my head here, and I also like to take a block between my knees. We're in fetal position, and the knees are in line with the hips. I'm lying on my right side right now. Okay? And we allow the palms to extend out, again, at shoulder height from the chest. And I'm letting the top fingertips extend a little bit past the bottom ones. What we're going to do is start to drag the top arm back along the arm, across the top of the chest, and it opens us into this open twist as we fully open the torso. And you can take head, neck, gaze with you. When we get to the outer end, we bend through the elbow and come back across. We're going to do this really, really slowly. So go ahead, set yourself up on your right side. And see what feels good for you, for props or no props. See that the knees are in line with the hips. That's important. That's going to be important to protect our low back as we open. All right, so left hand is meeting the right hand, palm to palm. Let the left arm extend a little bit forward as you fold the head down, the torso down. Let it extend all the way. Now as we inhale, we're going to begin to draw back, bringing those left fingertips back along the wrist. Very, very slowly as you can stand it. Elbow, shoulder, across the collarbones, left shoulder, and then the arm begins to open out to the left. You can take the gaze with you if it's okay for your neck.
the left shoulder comes all the way to the floor. And if it doesn't, you might want to take something to prop up that left shoulder, to hold it. And then you come back. You bend through the left elbow, fingertips across the shoulder, across the front of the chest, down the right arm, until you're back where you started. You extend the left fingertips a little bit more. Keep this going on your own. You don't have to worry about coordinating the breath as much as just letting it flow smoothly as you go. So there's no place where you're stopping. The movement is slow, it's methodical, and it's smooth. One long movement. And the attention is to noticing what's happening across the shoulders, across the heart, with the torso. See if you can be as simple and as easy as possible in this movement. And keep the eyes open so you don't get dizzy. The eyes are really helping to direct the movement. Just investigate. We're looking for the opposite of kotzer ruach, the opposite of a shortness of breath, of a constriction. We're looking for an expansion. And the next time you arrive at that open position, that twist, pause and stay here. Let your body be in this open twist. You might take the right hand to the top of the left knee. However you would like to be in this twist, you might just continue to extend the arms out and open at shoulder height with the palms up. You can sort of fidget and lift your rib cage if you like and spin it around a little more if that's comfortable. Let's just see what feels good here. And see where your gaze wants to be. It might be up towards the ceiling. It might be over the left shoulder. Feel that spin of the spine, of the torso, of the rib cage. And then slowly we're going to come out of that and back to fetal position. And then you're going to roll it over to the other side. Just roll across your back and over to the other side. I'm going to turn myself just so that you don't look at my back, but all you have to do is roll it over really gently to the other side, and we're going to repeat the movement on the other side. So you're facing left, the right arm is on top. If somehow you've ended backwards of me, that's no problem. Just follow the instructions opposite. The knees are in line with the hips. The right arm is on top. Extend those fingertips a little past the left. And then begin the journey of opening up the arm, the chest. Again, taking it very slow. Opening and closing. Notice if it's totally different from one side to the other. Notice if it feels like somebody else's body between one side and the other side. It's often the case. So maybe you started on your quote good side and this is your, quote, bad side, or vice versa. And if there's a big distinction, you can just sort of begin to track and notice, where are the spots that are hardened? We're not trying to get perfect at the movement as much as use the movement to our benefit to gain a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of awareness, of da'at, of our own, this own system, this own body in which we live. This might give us a little bit of information on how we can be kinder, move a little more freely. Ultimately, that's what we're looking for. Move a little more simply. And then the next time that you open out to the side, just take the twist, pause here. See what's needed. Just find the stillness and the beauty in this lovely twist. We've also entered the twist from a different position than we usually do. So somehow that makes it feel almost like a different pose to me sometimes. I don't know if you're experiencing that. So I'm just noting that to give you an option in your own practice of how you might choose to enter a twist. As you're ready, coming on out, we're going to make our way toward Shavasana, towards stillness. If there's any pose or stretch that you'd like to give your body before we get there, go for it. Finding a gentle child pose in order. See what's there for you. And then as you're ready, settling in for a few minutes of stillness. And I will offer one possible Shavasana variation. Since we have it right here, you can take that jelly roll, that blanket jelly roll, either this way or change the configuration of the blanket to make it higher. I like to put it right at the top. You could put it under your knees. That's one spot that can be very nice, but if you move it up, like really toward the root of the thigh bone where it meets the hip, the top of the thighs, it gives a lovely relief to the low back with the legs extended. Again, finding stillness. And if it's not comfy on your low back, to extend the legs, keep them bent, soles of the feet to the floor. And just settle in for a moment or two of quiet. There's nowhere you need to go. And nothing you need to do.
Beginning to deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And begin to wake the body up again and slowly take your time rolling over to the side and making your way back up to a comfortable seat. A closing prayer. Source and shelter, grant safety and security to the people and democracy of the United States of America. Protect us from violence, rebellion, intimidation, and attempts to seize our government. God of nations and history, let truth and justice resound to the four corners of the earth. Let the light of freedom shine brightly in the halls of power as a beacon of hope for every land and people. We'll read that again. Let the light of freedom shine brightly in the halls of power as a beacon of hope for every land and every people. That's by Alden Solovey. I'll put that in the chat. It's called Psalm for Our Time, and with a very special thanks to Bonnie Fenton. Good shout out to her for sending that particular prayer to me. Shavua Tov. I hope this was a helpful practice for you.